They said it could never happen, that Mercedes, BMW, and Audi were too powerful, too embedded in the American dream to ever walk away. But now, it's happening. 3 of the biggest luxury car makers in the world are quietly packing their bags. And the fallout could erase hundreds of thousands of American jobs almost overnight. And here's the part nobody's talking about. This isn't just about cars. It's about the beginning of a dangerous chain reaction that could permanently change what you drive, how you drive, and even if you can afford to drive at all. These brands didn't just sell cars, they helped define America's image on the world stage. From Hollywood celebrities to Fortune 500 executives, their vehicles became rolling symbols of power, prestige, and achievement. Losing them isn't just an industry shift, it's a cultural reset. Because what triggered this exodus was never supposed to happen in the first place. For decades, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi didn't just sell cars in America, they sold status, aspiration, and identity. Owning one wasn't just about transportation, it was a badge of success. A rolling declaration that you'd made it. But behind the glossy brochures and showroom smiles, something has been brewing. Tariffs were creeping in. Regulations were getting tighter. Supply chains were becoming unpredictable. And in boardrooms across Germany, confidence in the U.S. market was quietly eroding. It wasn't just a matter of profit, it was about predictability. The ability to plan 5 or 10 years ahead without worrying that overnight a policy change could wipe out your margins. And over the last few years, America stopped feeling predictable. Even before the retreat began, the warning signs were everywhere. Production timelines started stretching. Next-generation models were delayed. And when executives were asked about U.S. investments, they suddenly had a lot less to say. While the public was dazzled by new tech and electric prototypes, the real strategy was already shifting elsewhere. What started as small production shifts overseas quietly escalated into something far bigger. Factory closures, dealership networks quietly thinning out, and models being killed before they ever saw a showroom. But this sudden retreat isn't just about economics. It's about a deeper fear that could cripple the entire U.S. auto market. The fracture began when political tensions triggered a sudden spike in tariffs on imported luxury vehicles. That instantly meant higher sticker prices, and for Mercedes, BMW, and Audi, a sharp drop in sales. American buyers didn't suddenly stop wanting luxury cars, but they started wondering whether paying thousands more made sense. Leasing, which had always been the sweet spot for these brands, was hit hardest. Overnight, monthly payments jumped by hundreds of dollars. For a business built on image, this was a disaster. And then there were the regulations. One set of rules from the EPA, another from California, different again in Texas. Add in unpredictable EV tax incentives, and rolling out a consistent product plan became a nightmare. Factor in rising interest rates, and the luxury car market became a dangerous gamble. Boardrooms in Stuttgart, Munich, and Ingolstadt started asking the same question: is America still worth it? But the answer they came to wasn't just no, it was leave now. And that's where things got ugly. Mercedes began quietly shifting US-bound production to plants in South Africa and China. BMW started scaling back its giant Spartanburg facility in South Carolina, the one built specifically to supply America. Audi stopped refreshing certain US-only models and began focusing heavily on Europe and Asia. They didn't hold a press conference. There was no Goodbye America tour. Instead, it was a slow, silent retreat. In the industry, they call it a shadow withdrawal. Instead of killing a product line outright, they just stop updating it for the US market. A trim level disappears here, an engine option there. Allocation to dealers quietly shrinks. By the time customers notice fewer choices, the decision has already been made. Because the real plan was far more ruthless than anyone realized. When a luxury automaker scales back, the damage spreads fast. The parts suppliers lose massive contracts. Shipping companies lose freight volume. Advertising agencies lose lucrative campaigns. And dealerships lose their most profitable inventory. Luxury models aren't just nice to have. They're profit powerhouses. When they vanish, a dealer's financial stability starts to crack. And when dealerships hurt, the ripple spreads to local communities. Restaurants near service centers lose lunch crowds. Local newspapers lose advertising revenue. Even small detail shops lose steady business. Now add in the fact that these automakers spend millions each year on research and development partnerships with American universities and tech companies. Those contracts vanish too. High-paying engineering jobs? Gone. Local tax revenue? Cut dramatically. And for smaller towns that rely on a single automotive plant for survival, a retreat like this can feel like an extinction-level event. Some industry watchers say as many as 280,000 American jobs could be at risk if the retreat continues. And that might be a conservative guess. And the worst part? This isn't just an American problem, it's global. Mercedes, BMW, and Audi are now doubling down on Asia and the Middle East, places where regulations are consistent, margins are massive, and customers aren't shopping payment plans. China is now Mercedes' largest single market, bigger than Germany and the US combined. BMW is designing entire models specifically for Asian buyers. Audi is pouring billions into EV production for Europe. From their perspective, America is too volatile, a place where tariffs can appear overnight and environmental laws change mid-model cycle. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, ultra-luxury SUVs are selling faster than they can be shipped. In China, buyers often pay in full up front and expect instant delivery. Compare that to the US, and where long waits and dealer markups make headlines, and it's easy to see why these companies are shifting focus. And it's not just about sales volume, it's about influence. Asia is setting the pace for EV technology, battery innovation, and autonomous driving. By embedding themselves deeply in those markets now, these automakers position themselves to dominate the next generation of automotive tech. America, by contrast, is looking more and more like a secondary market. But if you think they'll never come back, you don't understand the real game they're playing. Scarcity creates desire. By pulling back, these brands are making their cars harder to get. And in luxury, that's the ultimate power move. The fewer cars available, the more exclusive they feel. And when they finally return, they'll be able to command higher prices without pushback. This isn't just strategy, it's psychology. They're conditioning buyers to associate these cars with rarity, prestige, and privilege. Even existing owners feel a new kind of pride, knowing their car is becoming rarer by the day. And for would-be buyers, that desire builds like pressure in a sealed container, waiting to explode when the next model drops. And the side effects of that scarcity are about to hit your wallet in ways you've never seen before. The fallout is already here. Pre-owned luxury prices are climbing, leasing incentives are disappearing, and dealer markups are becoming normal. Switching to another brand won't help much. Competitors tend to follow the leader on pricing. Even repair costs are rising. With fewer new cars being sold, parts supply tightens. That means higher prices for everything from brake pads to performance upgrades. Insurance? That's climbing too. Luxury cars are expensive to fix, and when parts are scarce, insurers hike premiums even higher. Suddenly, owning your dream car feels like paying for a second mortgage. But the real danger isn't the price you'll pay now, it's what happens 5 years from now. Dealers are scrambling to survive. Some are turning to premiumized mainstream cars, loading up regular models with luxury-style interiors and tech packages, then charging luxury prices. Others are pushing their service departments harder than ever. They're hiking rates, pushing long-term maintenance packages, and upselling extended warranties. Some are even exploring partnerships with boutique EV brands or turning to niche imports to keep their inventory exciting. Others are consolidating with rival dealerships just to pool resources. In this fight for survival, the creativity is endless, but so is the risk. One bad bet on an unproven brand could push them over the edge entirely. And in that scramble lies the real long-term danger for U.S. car buyers. A few years from now, the U.S. could have fewer luxury dealerships, fewer certified pre-owned options, and higher service costs than ever. Luxury EVs will be plentiful elsewhere, but America could get fewer models, later launches, and reduced support. And here's the irony. The U.S. helped make the global luxury market what it is today. It proved leasing high-end cars could work at scale. It made European luxury aspirational worldwide. But now, American buyers might get the leftovers. And that's why this story might be less about cars and more about America's place in the world economy. This retreat is more than just a car story. It's a warning sign. If three German icons can walk away from America, who's next? Once investor confidence drops, it's hard to win back. And the ripple effect could hit industries most people think are untouchable, from tech to fashion to finance. This isn't just a Mercedes, BMW, or Audi story. It's about choice disappearing. It's about the shrinking of the American market and the fading of a global symbol of success. We're seeing the first steps of a much larger shift. One where America could go from being the crown jewel of global commerce to just another market on the list. And it won't happen all at once. It will happen quietly. A missing model here, a canceled launch there, a slow, steady rise in prices until the average buyer can no longer play in the luxury space. And history shows when the top end of the market collapses, everyone else feels it eventually. It's not if it reaches you, it's when. If this opened your eyes, hit like. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you drive, ride, or rely on to get around, and what you'd choose if budget wasn't an issue. I read every comment to stay grounded in what's really happening out there, and subscribe for more stories like this. Because the same forces reshaping transportation today, from cars to public transit, bikes to planes, are only picking up speed. The next video might be about electric trucks, collapsing supply chains, or how AI is changing how we move. And when the shift comes, you'll want to be ready.